Welcome back, everyone. So I got sent in this game by a longtime member of the Hodgepodge Discord who played on Steam for a while, and then she's made the jump to BGA. So she went by Villa in the Hodgepodge Discord, and so she sent me this video. She's not actually 170 elo. She just has not played a lot of games on BGA. Uh, and again, I don't think her opponent is really 55 elo either. Uh, they seem to play a lot of games, so I suspect maybe a family member or a friend. But anyway, they sent me this game, and it's an Elysium map, and I figured this would probably be a good chance to do another over-explained video, since we are on the random maps, and this would be a good time to discuss Elysium in a little bit of detail. So, let's start with the map. The idea with Elysium is that the ground game is very important. There's a whole bunch of juicy ocean rebates that are achieved, though the oceans themselves are much weaker than they are on the other maps, except for the two plant oceans here. Estate Dealer tends to be the most competitive of the awards. That's probably going to be the one that one player is going to want to fund before the other. Benefactor also tends to be up there as well with awards that you want to fund. And it's usually a mix of Desert Settler, Industrialist, or Celebrity based on what the game state is. But these two awards right here definitely make it kind of a terraforming friendly map combined with all the rebates you can get from walking along the oceans with your greeneries. Specialist tends to be taken very easily with mega credit production. Ecologist can be obtained relatively easily as well. Generalist sometimes, but not every time. Having to have one of each production might be easy for Robinson, but for the other corps, maybe not so much. Legend is pretty good if you can get it. It requires a bunch of kind of cheapish events in order to get, but if you have them, it's quite good. And then Tycoon is pretty rare to get, but usually it's a good win rate if you do get it. But just as far as the milestones go, Tycoon is not very common. Ecologist and Specialist are the most common, and then kind of a mix of one of the other three. Where do you want to put your cities and greeneries? Generally speaking, you want your cities to go here and your greeneries to go here. But obviously, if you can swing this, it might be worth it to put a city there because a 3 card for you and -3 for your opponent. Yeah, it's a 6 card swing basically, so this is still a very good place to go. But your city here, and your city here, and your city here, these are kind of like the main spaces you want to put your cities because they control the oceans. And he who controls the oceans controls the state dealer. So that is kind of our game plan. And 3 plants is just a very good spot in general on the map. So with that kind of little strategy section down, let's go ahead and look at the corpse. So IC and Mining Guild are the corpse. IC generally tends to be a little more explosive than Mining Guild. Mining Guild can have better production uh, later in the game, but Mining Guild is not so great on Elysium, and let's kind of look at why. The ocean rebates, ocean minerals are kind of awkward up here in the corner, just one of each. You would much prefer to get these right here and get some of these juicy rebates. There's no minerals here in the center where all the juicy ocean rebates are, so there's not easy ways to get them. There's some in the south, yes, but you don't generally want to go in the south. You'd rather get the juicy rebates here in the middle. So if Mining Guild wants to get any mineral prod, it has to go to kind of a suboptimal starting place or these corners. And these corners are not necessarily bad per se, but it's just not where you want to be, which is next to the oceans. And so, in general, I think Mining Guild is not as good on this map due to the weaker oceans and uh, stronger ground game in the middle instead of the edges. So I would tend to go IC in this situation, and IC pairs well because of Legend. So Legend makes me want to play cheap events. IC wants to play cheap events because every time we play an event, we get 2 mega credits. So as I see, I would definitely want to take things like Hired Raiders, Martian Survey, Convoy from Europa, and kind of get that value here. The only steel dump in hand is Knock the City, so I think you definitely want to take Knock the City. I already said we want to put a city here on this hex, so that's a good target as any. Um, Satellites, usually not so good, but we should keep it in mind because of specialists, right? Water splitting plant, not so good, especially without any power really in our hand. Rad suits, or bad suits as we call it, also not very good, though 1 MC could be useful potentially for specialists. Plantation can be good. It is ecologist, which is important, so something to think about. And if we could put it on Olympus Mons, we would enjoy that. Regolith Eaters, it is a microbe tag for ecologists, but it's just so expensive, it's really hard to ever be excited about this card. Archaea, however, is pretty good. It is a microbe tag itself, so another ecologist point. And it's a cheap plant prod early on, which can really help us with grabbing some of these important rebates. Martian Survey draws us cards, which is fine, but also it's an event, so progress on Legend, more cards, seems good. Looking at these preludes, none of them are fantastic. You could take the Heat Preludes. It's okay, but Heat without much else is kind of lackluster here, and 5 Heat's not really getting us to close to Specialist with our hand here. If we had Molehole area, maybe this would be a different story. But I would go Research Network and Biofuels here. Reasons why is because that gets us 2 tags for Ecologist, which is good. We do want to get progress on Ecologist, and with Archaea, that's a 3rd tag. So we're pretty close to Ecologist already. Secondly, we'll draw some cards, which is valuable. MC Prod for a Specialist, also not a bad thing. Biofuels gives us the power that we need in order to play Noctis City early on, so that's a nice combo there. And that'd be 2 plants. If we put the city here, 5 plants, then 6 plants, 7 plants from all those. So then with like Convoy from Europa or Plantation, we could get 8th plant, which gets us a conversion, which is pretty good early on. Um, the other thing is that Research Network is an additional science tag. So with the additional science tag, there's a chance at playing Plantation to get that conversion, and that also is going to get us right there on Ecologist as well. So for all those reasons, I think you need to take Research Network and Biofuels here. So take the events, take Archie, take Noctis, take Plantation, and I'm going to call it her Villa, because that's just what I'm used to, and I'm not even sure I can pronounce that name over there. So let's see what Villa does. Uh, she keeps 5 of them, which is good, but I think Plantation was a miss. Obviously, without Hired Raiders, can't play Plantation here, so I'm not saying that it was necessarily playable Gen 1, but I still would have kept it for the upside on Gen 2. We are first act on Gen 2 after all. So our opponent's Phobolog, so it's not a very good corp. Let's see what they've got. Allied Banks is good. Metals Company, those are both very good preludes. So we draw, we get Mine, NRB, and Toll Station. We're not so excited about NRB, though it is Ecologist. Toll Station honestly could be useful against Phobolog. Let's wait and see, but this could be a specialist card for us, maybe. Phobolog goes IO Mining Industries. Okay, classic. Into land claim on the 3 cards, and you hate to see it, so I guess the good news is we're not tempted to put our city in a bad spot anymore. Our opponent just has the land claim there, so we're going to just have to put our city on 3 plants, I guess. So yeah, opens up with mine into Archie, sure. It makes a little bit of sense to just wait on playing Noctis City so we can't get like virus here. So I like that kind of slow play there, because if we just rushed out, we could get virus because they have the money to do so, and then we'd be very sad that we lost 5 plants instead of 2. That's one of the skills, I think, in Terraforming Mars that people have to think about, which is what card could my opponent play with their available resources that would hamper my game plan here. So if you know your cards, you know that there's no plant destruction that they could have for 6 mega credits, but they could have virus, that's the only exception. And so once you realize that, you play around that one out. So they play Psychrophiles, which is a very good card on here because it helps you with Ecologist amazingly. So that's a great start for them. I would go ahead and Raiders them and yeah, just take their cash. So now if they have Iris, they can prove it. I would wait on the Noctis City and just let them prove that they don't have Iris, but they pass, so it all works out. Okay, so this is an interesting draft here because sponsors is a fine card. There's nothing wrong with sponsors, and it helps us on specialists. If we take sponsors, then we're at 6 prod, which there have two space tags now. It's not inconceivable we could get up and get the prod we need in order to get specialist. If we give them sponsors, they're at 9 MC prod. It's not too hard to find 1 MC prod from somewhere. So we're effectively kind of giving them specialists if we pass sponsors. On the other hand, Industrial Microbes is a very nice card for us because it is a steel dump that is free that gets us Ecologist. We skip the plantation, but this card right here just gets us Ecologist right away. And honestly, while it's not too hard to find 1 MC prod, it's also not that hard to find 3 MC prod. So if we pass sponsors to them, I don't think it's that much more likely they would get specialist than they already probably have it. So I would probably take industrial microbes here for the reason of it's good production for us and it gives us a chance to use our steel and goes ahead and secures us ecologist. That being said, sponsors is grabbed, and I don't think that's a mistake per se. I think that's just do I want to try and play around them getting specialists versus taking a card that's okay for me. Of these cards, I think the clear pick is Mineral Deposit since we're IC. That is, +4 cash, and more importantly, progress on Legend as well. So I would take Mineral Deposit here. Yeah, these cards are kind of roughly equivalent, so whichever one comes back is basically the same. So they did take Industrial Microbes. That makes enough sense. I don't think Ironworks has much of an upside here, so I would take Great Dam. Yep. And Lunar Beam comes around. I am not against Lunar Beam, generally speaking, but in this situation here, I'm not crazy about it because we are, by taking sponsors, looking to fight on specialists. And Lunar Beam works backwards from what that goal is. So because of that, I don't think you're ever supposed to take Lunar Beam if you first pick sponsors here. I think there's a little bit more of an argument if you take industrial microbes, because it does leave you just 1 titanium production away from getting Generalist. But I think trying to fight Generalist is probably a bit of a mistake here. I think what we're looking for is to do Ecologist and Legend instead, which is why I liked industrial microbes there. But anyway, I guess you buy sponsors and Mineral Deposit, and you can spec on Great Dam. I think you can go either way on this card. If this was the big box version, I would take Great Dam because having a tile that can be placed on oceans is very nice on this map. But since this is just the base version, I'd probably skip it, but I don't hate keeping it either. Okay, they keep it. That's fine. Uh, we have 7 plants. We don't really want to get it blown up. I would go ahead and play the ocean and convert. I would probably just go ahead and take the little bit of a cash rebate here so that they can't grief us with Ecozone or Industrial Center or something like that. Can we draw pets? So that is Ecologist as well. Fine. Go ahead and convert. Yep, I like it. Okay, they play Adapted Lichens. They are putting a little bit of pressure on Ecologists, but nothing too hard yet. We just play Sponsors and wait, I think. Yep, and we pass. Okay, this is a interesting draft. Cheap event, which is nice. We are currently at 2 out of 5 on Legend. Martian Survey is 3 out of 5. Mineral Deposit is 4 out of 5. CEOs could be 5 out of 5 for us. So that is interesting. Mass Converter is an amazing card, but Mass Converter also looks pretty far away. So how would I go about evaluating a card like Mass Converter here? To me, the most important thing is what cards they've already played. They've not played anything relevant to Mass Converter. And how many cards they have in their hand. If Phobolog had, say, 10 or 12 cards here, I would be kind of scared passing Mass Converter, because it means it's more likely they have a combo piece that could make Mass Converter pretty good here. However, with only 4 cards in hand, it's very difficult to ever see a situation where in a reasonable time frame, let's say within the next 4 generations, they'll be able to play Mass Converter. I just don't really see it given 4 cards in their hand and no science tags. And I don't see us playing Mass Converter either in any sort of realistic time frame. Given that, that means that Mass Converter is not a card I would first pick here. I also think Mangrove is pretty far away. We are at minus 30. Neither of us have any heat production. Sorry about my stupid dog, by the way. So since neither of us have any heat production, I think Mangrove is not the pick either. We both have steel production though, and because we both have steel production, I think you're supposed to take Great Escarpment Consortium here. This card can be nice here because our opponent looks like they might be trying to go for Generalist. You can see they're just missing the energy and the heat. If we take Great Escarpment here, then that sabotages some of their chances of getting Generalist, which is a big upside for us. And, I'd rather them not hit us as well for a card that will come off as much later paying. So I would take Great Escarpment here as my first pick. And Villa does, which I very much liked. And then there's this pack, which is really good. Special design, obviously, another synergy with trying to get the Legend milestone, but I'm pretty sure CEO's coming back and we can just play it for that. Nuke Zone is a high performing card. I don't want him to play it on our opponent to play it on 3 cards, so I would take Nuke Zone here. Heat Trappers is annoying, but I'm not certain that he's going to be. Keep saying he to default. I have no idea what this person's gender is, but I'm going to assume it's a he. Apologies if it's not. But Heat Trappers, I don't think that our opponent's going to get heat, so it's not worth first picking. I don't think we're getting heat anytime soon either. I think Nuke Zone just gives us too much value here. Yep, I like it. Okay, and sure enough, Mass Converter's been taken, which is reasonable by the opponent, but I think realistically neither of us are really able to play it in the time frame where it's useful. So Mangrove is nice. That is one of the most important cards when it comes to fighting Estate Dealer. Looking at our current position, do I think that Estate Dealer is our best award? The answer is probably. Industrialist is not an award we really want to fund right now. So we have, what looks like 2 tiles here on Oceans. We're looking to put more. We have Nuke Zone already. Having Mangrove helps out a lot with Estate Dealer. Given how premium it is to fight on the Estate Dealer, I think this probably should have been our opponent's pick. And I think it should probably be our pick. It's certainly an argument to go for CEO's favorite project for Legend, but I think you'll find an event card for that, so I think I would take Mangrove and bet on finding another event here. Yep, so I like these picks. So I would buy these 3. I would actually skip Heat Trappers. I think it's just a wasted card here at this point. Oh, we're not buying Mangrove? Ooh, I don't like that. I think that's a little bit of a mistake right there. If we were to buy it, 30 mega credits, we could still do Escarpment, Nuke Zone, no problem. I don't think we're under a huge rush to play pets with the current ecologist situation, but if we are worried about it, then 18 to play pets and claim, Nuke Zone, get 2 cash back, putting it on the card, and then Escarpment. That math works out nicely if that's the plan. And if that's the case, I can understand skipping Mangrove, but having a stronger Estate Dealer fund is why I would want to keep Mangrove here. Opponent keeps 4 cards, which is interesting, and they play Business Network, so they have some card draw. Business Network is one of the, I guess, worst card draws in that it lowers your MC production early on, which can be a little painful. But if you find it's still fine, and if you find a good card, then obviously you're happy that you played it. They don't keep their card though, so it's a bit of a whiff. Okay, so Martian Survey I think is a little premature. I think we have stuff we already want to do. I don't think we need to spend 7 mega credits to see more cards just yet. But urbanized area and fuel generators, I'm not upset about seeing those cards, so it's fine. Rushing out pets here I think is a little mistake. I think I would lean towards playing Nuke Zone first to draw the card, and then see what he does in the if I want to play Pets and Claim or if I want to greet it for like Nuke Zone and Escarpment here. Opponent plays Psychophiles and skips. Okay. So one action, either they've got nothing else to do or they're waiting on something. Okay, we just claim Ecologist. Um, it's fair if you're worried about like Psychophiles helping allow an extra 2 plants or something, but I don't think there was too much of a need just yet. I do like the Escarpment here. They raise Heat via Standard Asteroid. So let's go ahead and talk about that. What is a TR worth? Early game, I would say it's worth about 10 mega credits, is kind of the formula that the developers use. The developers kind of assume that each of these projects is about 4 mega credits more than it's actually worth, so to speak. But it's a little bit of a flawed formula because you have your VP early on, which is worth less, and your MC production is worth more, and later on your MC production is worth way less, and your VP is worth more. So trying to find the right balance for it is difficult. You know, we try and say 5 mega credits for a victory point at the end game, and early on we say, you know, a mega credit production is probably worth 4.5 mega credits on average for what its costs in the game. You know, it's actually probably worth something like, you know, 7 mega credits. So, you know, it's kind of on edge about SP Asteroid, but here I would say we're probably overpaying by 5 or so. And so overpaying by 5, Gen 3, not necessarily what you want to do. We can see it's because the big asteroid exists, and so by doing that, he gets the heat prod, and so the heat prod gives him a line towards both uh, power and steel prod for Generalist, and so securing that heat prod, while heat prod is probably only worth about like 4.5, 5 mega credits, you can argue that that makes the SP asteroid neutral, I would say. And if he manages to get a milestone from it, then maybe it is worthwhile. But in general, I would not advise you to do this. I think it is SP Asteroid early on is almost never correct unless it turns on something very specific. In this case, I'm thinking that the opponent really needed the heat production because we passed him industrial microbes. Remember, always try and keep track of the cards that you passed your opponents. Industrial microbes perfectly matches on the steel and the power. And so if they have that, it makes a lot of sense why they value that heat production so highly because they want to claim Generalist on their turn. And we lose 4 plants, so it's kind of sad. A little weird that they greeted that. If they had plant destruction, you'd think they'd have played that immediately on our 5 plants. I'm not sure why they waited, maybe hoping they'd snap the heat prod without having an SP asteroid for it. So, correctly, we just passed. There's nothing else that's really worth doing here. You don't want to play 1 energy prod, get -1 MC prod, only to then get energy tapped or something like that. And they just pass, which is a little interesting because they had the money to play industrial microbes there. So if they had industrial microbes, which I assume they do because they made that very strange play about the heat, then you really would think that they would play it to go ahead and get the steel prod now. But okay. Well, Cartel is just specialist. So because it's just specialist, I think you have to take Cartel here. Lycan is not bad for them. And it's one of those reasons that you might want to SP the asteroid is to play a card like Lycan, but Ecologist is already claimed, so I don't think it's too big of a problem. Terraforming is a bad card. I don't think we're getting Heat Prod, so Open City is just clearly the pick here. It's a fairly strong card. It comes on a little bit late, but we have decent Steel Prod. I think it will be a good resource for us. And on this map, it also helps towards Celebrity, which is very useful. It is not that common in base and preludes to have a whole bunch of 20 MC prod cards unless you are playing Jovians for the most part. So having a card like Open City that can be paid for in steel that counts towards Celebrity can be pretty important in these in-game award fights. Symbiotic Fungus does pair well with the Psychophiles, but realistically, I don't think Heat's going up that quick, and I think Livestock has the bigger upside, so to speak. So I would take livestock here. Yep. And cartel and open city, and personally I would keep the 1 point animal, but it'd also be okay to skip. Livestock is considered the worst of the 1 point animals because you have to lose your plant production and not your opponent's plant production, which is pretty painful. Sure. So skipping livestock seems fine to me. Uh, so do you agree? Do you agree? Obviously, the nuke zone exists here, which would make our cartel better, and we would like to do that. But we know our opponent has 2 Earth tags here, which means that if they were to play space hotels, they would just instantly get the milestone, which is not ideal. So if I were in this position, I would probably play around the possibility of my opponent having space hotels and just go ahead and go for the cartel and claim because of the wild tag. Um, that's also why like Nuke Zone earlier might have been nice because then we would not have to worry about the losing the value from the cartel. But I digress. Let's see what Villa does. They played Nuke Zone on the card, and they draw Earth Office, so rewarded. But now we just have to hope no space hotels incoming here. Okay, they did have industrial microbes. They just didn't play it last gen. Interesting. Maybe they didn't have the money and I just miscounted, but I thought they did. Anyway, yeah, claiming generalist now makes a lot of sense. So now we can take specialists with cartel, and everything is pretty good here. Yep, yep, I like it. So right now we have the advantage in that milestones are done. So when milestones are done, that is usually a good time to take a look at the game state. So when I look at this game state here, what do I see? I see 2 cities, and that's pretty much it. We don't have a lot going for us in our hand. If I look at our production, we have reasonable production. We have a little bit of plant prod, and we have some steel. So to me, that says we can make things happen, but we're kind of needing some good steel cards that we can use to turn all this 26 mega credits of steel resources into further development. Now look at our opponent. I see a Jove threat that is looming, but aside from that, not really too much. 7 cards is a normal amount. They could have some good stuff. They could not. We don't know what their hand is. Considering they played some stuff like SP Asteroid for Big Asteroid for the milestone, that makes me think their hand is not amazing. So I think we're okay in that regard. So based on how our hand looks, how their hand looks, and where our production lines look like, I think we can continue to let the game develop in its current trajectory, and we'll probably be okay. So the next thing that you want to look at here is the awards. So if we look at the awards, we can see that we're in the lead on Benefactor, but just barely, not enough that I would want to fund it. We are in the lead on Estate Dealer. We're in the lead of Industrialist, but a lot of that is due to the steel we have lying around, and we want to spend that steel, so funding Industrialist would be a mistake. We also know that they probably have Mass Converter, which is a big swing on Industrialist that we don't want to engage in. Desert Settler, no progress. Celebrity, no progress. So if it were me, obviously we can't fund right now, but I would look to use Estate Dealer as my fund in the future. And with that Mangrove I would have in my hand, I'd feel very safe about that because that's in the case of emergency, tile to help defend Estate Dealer. But right now we have what looks like 3 tiles here to eventually 1 for our opponent, so I'd feel good about it. Okay, opponent draws a card, does not like the result. We pass. Lichen is played, our opponent is liking it with the Psychophiles. And we go on. Alright. This is I want to buy all 4. Wait, draft? What draft? We're playing keep all 4 here. Because this is an incredible hand here. Ultimately, though, with 1 ocean down, I think you have to take Arctic Algae here. I think it's just kind of mandatory. So I would take Arctic Algae here. If I had to guess, I would guess our opponent takes Small Animals or Cupola, and we'll get Advanced Ecosystems and one of these back. Advanced Ecosystems is nice, but I think without the heat control being present and both of us kind of investing in greeneries, it's more likely that we will have 6% get hit, which means small animals can be very brutal in terms of killing the plant production and scoring half a point each generation, which is probably going to be more points than the 3 points of advanced ecosystems. So yeah, Arctic algae is picked. I agree. Okay. Neither of us have 2 power tags. We have a wild tag, but I don't think it's really that relevant to tapping that 1 power per se. Uh, Adaptation Tech is probably the most relevant card here because it's a science tag towards the mass converter. Remember, always try and think about what cards your opponent has that you know that you passed him. And in this case, we know that we passed him mass converter, so I don't really want to give him Adaptation Tech. We also know that we just passed him small animals, so we can assume they probably have small animals. And if they have small animals, then we definitely do not want to let them turn that on even earlier to harass our plants. So I would take Adaptation Tech here. I like it. And sure enough, they did take the small animals, so now it comes down to Advanced Ecosystems and Cupola. And now this is where it can get a little weird, but I would take Cupola in this position. I know a lot of you will be like, Thread, you're so high on advanced ecosystems. Isn't this a great card? Yes, it is. Can't we play it? Don't we have the requirements already met? Yes, we do. I fully understand that, and I fully understand with the small animals kept, our opponent's going to be able to play small animals to get advanced ecosystems as well. But look at what is going on here. We have 30 mega credits of value just sitting around here doing nothing for us. We have the power already in hand for fuel generators. Cupola City just lets us develop and claim real estate efficiently, and is MC production as well, slightly. And I think that the value that the city is going to generate from locking up estate dealer tiles, kind of guaranteeing us the early 8 fund on estate dealer and getting us the MC prod and the spaces to score in our greeneries, is more valuable than the 3 points in advanced ecosystems will be later. So for that reason, I will take Cupola City if I'm in this position here. And sure enough, they do. I like that a lot. I would buy all Arctic Algae, Cupola, and Power Supply Consortium here. You could make an argument for adaptation tech. I personally would probably not, but I think there is an argument to be made for it. I would take Power Supply Consortium because we do have the fuel generators. We are going to play that for the Cupola, so might as well get the chance to tap our opponent if they allow it. Okay. Villa skips the Power Supply Consortium. I would take it because it's playable here, but fair enough. Alright, and Giant Ice Asteroid. It never fails. As soon as you get the Arctic Algae, you lose the Arctic Algae value. And we had 5 plants, so we just lose 6 plants. That's very painful for us. I don't know what the cash was for Phobolog back in that big asteroid play, but I wonder if that's why they were stalling, is because they were interested in seeing if we got more than 5 plants to then hit us with a Giant Ice Asteroid. I don't know. We'll have to see. But then they play the Dust Seals. Yeah, Dust Seals isn't a bad card for them. Uh, anyway, I would retaliate. I would, if I kept Power Supply Consortium, play Fuel Generators, Power Supply Consortium, and tap them. But since we didn't keep it, I think it makes sense to go and get the Arctic Algae down now, and then I would skip the second action so we can Fuel Generators into Cupola City. Okay, they draw their card, they don't like it, so this business network has been a bit of a bust for them so far. But now we go ahead and fuel generators into Cupola City. Cupola City belongs right here on this elbow. It gives us a lot of access to good plants and helps secure Estate Dealer. Estate Dealer is what we're looking to fight right now. So since more oceans have come down, now's the time to go ahead and secure those spots next to the oceans. I like the play so far. Opponent passes, which is good. Just because you have money to spend does not mean you should spend it. So I think it makes a lot of sense to wait for them. Personally, I don't think it would necessarily be wrong to SP Greenery and convert necessarily. Get some progress towards that small animals, but I think it makes enough sense to just wait as well. And we wait as well, I too, and I like that. Again, there's no reason to spend money on suboptimal plays here. You don't need to play NRB because I have enough money, so I might as well play it. It is okay to just say I'm saving my money for more important plays. Speaking of more important plays, I think you want to take Trees here. Trees is pretty valuable of a card. It's true, there's not a lot of heat in the game right now, but like a Deimos down, and suddenly we're like right there on the edge of it. So I would still take trees. I think both of us are rich enough with few enough cards that investment loan is, while okay, not the priority pick here. Yep. These are all pretty good cards. I think flooding is probably the best card for us in that it allows us to play the Great Dam, and it avoids us getting hit for -4 MC, which is important as well. And Arctic algae value means that we'll be able to get the plant that we need in order to get a conversion right away. And so for those reasons, I do think flooding is the best card here, but this colonizer training camp is a little problematic. I don't like giving him colonizer training camp because that is a Jovian for that IO mining that they played all that time ago. We would rather prefer them not get a Jovian threat going, but we're forced to give them a Jovian anyway, so I would just take the flooding and just say it's the better card for me here. So sure, loan comes back. I would take loan in a heartbeat, as I see with Earth Office. And AMC comes back. They took the colonizer training camp, which makes a lot of sense. I would buy 3. We have no interest in Joves at this stage. We don't have the titanium prod, so it's just useless. And I would open with just flooding and convert. Where do you want to flood? I think it's an open question. You can flood here. I think that makes sense. And then you can convert for 4MC back here and an extra plant. Or you can convert up here and try and work your way up. I would probably go here and give our ability to kind of snake around the oceans over here. That's because we could get more rebates from up here. And we already have a tile giving us access to all these oceans here. So we don't need to worry about our opponent cutting us off right here because we already have a tile in position. So I don't see the need to defend this spot. I would go here and convert right there. So I got the conversion, but they convert over here, also completely reasonable. Uh, it's 4MC back. It's unlikely they'd put a tile right there between us, but they could, and so playing around that is also fine. Just continuing to take up spots to make a state dealer a safer fund. So right now we're up 5-0. I would probably fund a state dealer as my next move here, but I also would have kept Mangrove. Our opponent does see the threat though, and they put their greenery there to kind of start contesting on a state dealer. So good for them. Lava flows, so now they have heat going up a little further. That makes the trees pay off. They got their 3 cards though, and now they have 2 to R5. Not quite as safe as it once was, but given how the rest of the awards look, where we're losing Celebrity, Desert Settler, Benefactor, Industrialist isn't really safe. Benefactor and Desert Settler and Celebrity are all too close to fund. I would still fund a state dealer here. Why does it only show them having 1? Is this just not updated yet? I guess it's just not updated yet. Yeah, they draw 3 cards. Great Dam into just passing. Like I said, I'd have funded. I recognize it's a little bit of a YOLO fund here, but I think we're likely enough to win it. I would go ahead and fund it aggressively. Okay, they draw 4 cards with business contacts. Add a psychophile. And Village just passes. And I think that's wise. Again, don't need to make subpar plays in order to... I have to spend my money. It's okay to save it and just see what happens next gen. They draw the card and they still don't like it. This has been one of the worst business networks of all time. They do play Protected Valley, and so that's one of those cards that can really fight a state dealer. That's why the Mangrove would have been my secret weapon to help avoid that. They play a Colonizer training camp, so they are still pursuing the Jove threat here. And then they pass. These cards are all pretty darn good. Fish is a 1-point animal, and I think it makes a lot of sense to deny a 1-point animal in this position. Dome Crater is pretty phenomenal for us, though. For that reason, I kind of like the Dome Crater even over the Fish. Like, Fish is good, yes, but it's coming on kind of late. Given how late it's coming online, I'm not sure how good it's really going to be. It's a question about the 1-point animal, right? Do they have a way of adding a lot of resources onto the 1 point animal. So let's remember what we passed them, right? We know they have CEO's favorite project, and we know they have AOS. So that's at least two. They could also have imported nitrogen and large convoy, local heat trapping, etc. But we know they have at least two of the threats. And so for that reason, it probably still makes sense to take fish, but Dome Crater I think is probably the second best card here, because it gets us a conversion right away. And Greenhouses is probably the third best card, which is saying something because Greenhouses is really good here. Like, really good. Alright, I definitely see the vision with Fish. I do agree with it because of the threat of the opponent. I'm not sure it's so good for us, but I'd still take it. Then advanced alloys, it's like, okay, Mr. 7 Titanium here didn't have a use of alloys. Well, we will definitely take this, and with the mineral deposit, this is a very good card for us. And then they take the greenhouses, which I think is completely reasonable, and we're very happy to get the dome crater back. So physics complex is progress towards mass converter, we know, but at this point in Gen 7, zero science tags played, it's not a credible threat that I would take physics over dome crater here. Immigration shuttles, while it is a point if we were to play it, it's so expensive. In Gen 7, it's likely not gonna come anywhere close to paying off, so I would skip it and buy these first three cards. Which they do. I like it. So they draw, they like it, they still hate the business network card. Not like this. Not like this. Alright, so I would greet it. I'd play alloys here. I would play mineral deposit. Yep, I like it. Opponent plays wave power into strip mine. Okay. So they have given up the 8% O2 bonus. So we should take it, but we should be smart about it. So what do we know? We know they have Deimos, potentially, right? They have 28 MC sitting here in Titanium, so they could absolutely have Deimos and kill our plants. So we should probably be a little bit hesitant about playing Dome Crater and not converting. At the same time, we know they could have towing a comet, but they don't have any way of actually converting that two plants that they're going to get. They can get one more plant, so they would get up to 7 plants, but they would not be able to convert. So based on that analysis, I would probably just sell Toll Station here, uh, and maybe like sell NRB if you want to take two actions. Uh, I would not want to play Dome Crater into getting Deimos, and I would not want to play Dome Crater Convert because of towing a comet. You could play Investment Loan as well if you want to stall like that. But I would try and stall here to see what their next play is going to be. Okay, Villa goes ahead and plays Dome Crater into Conversion. So we know they don't have Plantation because we had Plantation in our opening hand. Again, track the cards where you've seen them. Write it down if you have to, but this is a key step in getting better at Terraforming Mars, is remembering what cards, where, and when. The problem is now we've opened ourselves up to towing a comet, so we have to hope they don't have towing a comet to get the 8% bonus here. And they do have towing a comet, so yeah, that was a mistake. I understand why they did it, because you didn't want to get Deimos, but you opened yourself up to getting punished by the other option. So towing a comet gets hit. That's pretty painful because they get the 8% bonus. We're still doing fine on the state dealer. We're still up quite a bit, but we haven't funded it yet. I would still lean towards funding it, but it is a little more risky now because now they can get some conversions, get this touching up here, and suddenly it's not quite so simple anymore. Villa passes with 76 mega credits. I think that still makes sense. Uh, I think the time to have spent it was in getting the 8% bonus, but now I think it's fine to just wait and, again, see what happens. Next gen we open up, it would not be unreasonable to do like SP Greenery into uh, convert here to take another estate dealer tile, look to fund estate dealer. I probably would have funded estate dealer now, just given the discrepancy here. That way it's harder for them to take it. They do play the greenhouses since they had the 6 plants lying around. They just go ahead and secure the conversion. Makes a lot of sense. Converting up here looks to me like they're trying to say, I'm going to try and fight you on a state dealer by taking these spots. So our first priority should probably be a conversion here. Second priority should probably be a conversion right here to try and grab as much estate dealer spots as we can. Small animals hits us, which is unfortunate, but we knew we passed it to them. Okay. Wow. You take the predators here, I think. As good as Ecozone is for a tile that can fight a state dealer, Predators is just a 1.5 point swing every generation. It's coming on this gen, which means it's really good. And we'll probably get Commercial District back, which is completely fine. I'm happy to play Commercial District because that is another tile that we can use to fight a state dealer. So I would take Predators, assume they take Ecozone, eat their small animals or Ecozone, get the commercial district, and we're happy. So yeah, Predators, Martian Rails, anyone? OP? Probably house printing, honestly. Yeah, and commercial district comes back, so we take that. I would buy 3 Martian Rails, my darling, but probably skip that. Yep, I like it. Uh, SP Ocean does get us a conversion. We can convert here for 6 cash back now. Remember, we passed them Ecozone, so we don't want to give them that 6 cash back. Makes sense to me. They play the Ecozone, so they have cut us off. They are looking to fight us on a state dealer and make our life difficult. It's 8-2 right now, 8-3 after the Ecozone, but remember, they got 2 here, so it'll be 8-5. That's a little bit closer, but I would still have funded it, and I'd still have Mangrove to help defend it as well if I were playing it. Oh, they finally find a card from the Business Network. This is why Business Network is not that amazing of a card sometimes, but they finally found the card they like. That's good for them. Uh, Now is the time to just take the O2. We want to turn on Predators and Open City, so I like these SP Greeneries here to just take Estate Dealer's spots and move the parameter along, but we should fund Estate Dealer if we're going to take all these aggressive actions towards fighting it. So I'm not really a fan of not funding Estate Dealer here. Mining areas played though, so they are fighting against it themselves, which like I said, maybe Estate Dealer is a bait without Mangrove to help defend it, but it's still what I'd do. Asteroid mining, keeping the Jove thread alive. It's a little late for the asteroid mining to be really good, but if they have like Ganymede Colony, Wife, or TG, then it's fine to play. It can still be pretty scary. And right now the score is kind of tied, 53-55 here. But we do have Predators online since we SP'd the greeneries to get up to 11%. We can start munching on their small animals. They raise heat and play special design. Is that for birds? We only have 1 plant prod, so I can't imagine it is. Yeah, SP Greenery's fine. I think that makes enough sense. Just go ahead and get Open City online so we can like do Open City into a conversion. Or you could do Open City down here and look to fund Desert Settler. That also would be okay. Skip second action. Alright. Oh, it's to play Tundra Farming? Oh, don't play that bad card. Oh, well. If he loses, I think I know why he just lost. Little Tundra Farming. Yeah, Open City makes enough sense here. Commercial district in urbanized areas, other steel dumps, I think it's fine. Celebrity funded is a little aggressive on Celebrity, but they are up 4-2. It's kind of hard to imagine circumstances where we would want to play more expensive cards, which is why I think it would have made more sense to have funded Estate Dealer previously, or at least Desert Settler. So being a little too passive on awards, I think, might have hurt us a little bit here. They're first to open next gen. That means they get their 8%. I would not want that to occur. So in this position, I would probably lean towards SP Greenery, convert, just to take the last O2 from them. But we pass, which is okay, but I'd prefer the 2-point swing myself. It's kind of late. The research outpost probably still worthwhile with pets and with that steel there. Okay. I don't know what he took, but I'm not giving my opponent back a 6 prod insects, so I definitely take the insects here. Yeah, crazy. Nitro Moss, I guess, since we got insects, though I'm not sure we're that excited about playing Nitro Moss, but we don't want to give it to the guy that has Eco Zone. And we get back Ice Cap Melting, which I feel like is really good. I'm surprised they took, I think it was Heather over, no, it was, I think it was the other Moss over Ice Cap Melting. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely take Research Outpost, Ice Cap Melting. I probably would skip Nitro Moss even with insects, but it's fine to take it as well, I suppose. Just kind of expensive, 11 for what's effectively one plant prod, since we're playing that plants now. 11 for one plant prod is just not really it, you know. They like the cards from Business Network, so that's good. And they add the Psychophiles. Go ahead and munch on the Predators. Yeah, you could think they might have birds, and so we're losing the chance to munch the 1-point animal, but it's just as likely that they manage to find protected habitats, and then we're not going to be able to eat anyway, so eat while you can. Yeah, Research Outpost. Right here, it makes a lot of sense to just secure great adjacencies to other cities and look to fund Desert Settler here now, since it's looking pretty good for us. Opponent does get the conversion to Mars University, so I really want to get our last conversion. So I would probably be interested in playing Urbanized Area, but we don't have the power. Not really looking to SP the power for it per se. So that's a little awkward. Could SP Ocean in order to claim it. Could SP the Asteroids to get trees online to get it. Both of those would be reasonable. Convert Heat and SP the Asteroid. Okay, that's reasonable enough. I am a little scared about the possibility of a Deimos killing our plants at 7 right now and getting the bonus Ocean. That would be very painful. Invention Contest. Get some 3 cards and then get to cycle another one with the Mars U they just played. Please don't be a Deimos. Oh. Okay, it's GHG producing bacteria, so we can play trees and convert. So we're very happy with that. What? No, don't play Nitro Moss. Convert. I mean, I get why they want to get the Nitro Moss value for the insects, but missing out on 2 TR here, I would rather just claim it now than risk my opponent taking it. The old Methane from Titan getting played, so Jove Threat staying alive still. We have to hope they don't have TG or Ganymede Colony, because either of those might be just GG for us here, honestly. Insects played's good. Investment loan? I can only assume it's the SP Asteroid twice? Yeah. I'm not sure about SP Asteroid twice per se, but I do like getting the conversion here, so sure, that makes enough sense. I wouldn't have put it there per se. I probably would have put it over here. That leaves a better urbanized area if we need to urbanize area ourselves. It's 2 points either way, but minor nitpick there. If we still have any illusion of funding Estate Dealer, it's probably correct to take Molehole Area here, because that's an Estate Dealer tile. However, given that we're up 4-1 on plants right now in the south, I think it probably makes more sense now to fund Desert Settler, and all that fighting over Estate Dealer is all for naught. So I would take Olympus Conference. Yeah. Media Archives is just plus cash. It's 7 for 14 cash. Yes, please. Now I would take the Molehole Area because Food Factory is kind of terrible. But it is a point, so I can understand taking it if we're just giving up on a State Dealer. So just take these 2, and that's it, I think. Alright, go ahead and get a conversion. Protect our plants. I would fund Desert Settler now. Yep, I like that play. NRA. So normally that's not a card that I'm very happy to see, but in this case I like it because it moves along the heat for us, which is good. And more importantly, it means it's not a Jove molt. That's what I'm really scared of right now, is the Jove molts. They don't like the cards from Business Network. It's been kind of bad for them. Go ahead and play the Ice Cap Melting for 4 cash back. I like it. Go ahead and activate the Predators for the reasons we stated already. They play Standard Tech. So are they interested in SP cities, maybe? We're okay with that because we have pets. So I'm not too upset about that. So, one ocean left, 3 asteroids left. So 14, 14, 14 is 42. So that leaves us 1 mega credit left. Media Archives is quite a bit of cash back. It might be possible we can end here, so we should consider that possibility. And sure enough, Villa is considering it here. Okay, Birds is played, so we were punished by going ahead and eating, but it's fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, we could have been punished if they had protected habs. You're just playing around one card or the other. So, Media Archives, yeah, with that 16 cash back, it's trivial to end. We can sell a card and then still go the SP Asteroid here. Okay, Eos is played, so this is one of the reasons why we took the fish, is we knew they had the Eos Chasma. Paid for all in steel is quite nice. Okay, last card, so SP Asteroid and Pray No Jove Molt. I think when you're up by 10 points here, this is the time to do it. Opponent can't fund Benefactor easily. They have to find another TR source from somewhere, which if TG is like the main one, and they don't have the money to fund and play TG, they don't have a state dealer. All the ocean spots have been accounted for, and they are just losing on the state dealer, so they can't take that. Can't fund Industrialist, already funded Celebrity, so awards are kind of out for them. So if they played a Jove Molt, it would only be 5 points. They'd have to play 2 Jove Molts with 47 cash plus 6, 53. It's possible with like TEG and Ganymede Colony, but it's unlikely. And the more gins you go, the more cards they can see, the more chances of it becoming likely. So I agree. You just gotta strike while the iron's hot and just say, I don't think you have it. They have advanced ecosystems. That is a 4-point card. It is quite good. We can play Olympus Conference. We don't have the power to play Commercial District, grab the steel, and then play Olympus Conference. Otherwise, that'd be pretty nice. Small animals, the Heather. Do they have a Jove Molt? If they do, they're going to be up by... I mean, if they have TG here, then they're going to get 5, 7, 8 points. So they'd be at 90 points. We would get 3, 5. We at 92. They'd be at 91. So I think we would still win here, even if they had TG. But we have to sell and pass. Let's see what they got. They pass. Somehow they did not have enough points in hand with their 30 cash here, so they just pass. We pass. We get our conversion there. Conversion between the city. Conversion again. Opponent gets their 1 conversion for 1 point. But with that, the game is over, and we managed to get a nice victory, 92 to 83. So thanks Villa for sending in this game. I know some people are gonna probably make a comment about the elos, but I think we can all agree that the play that was represented here was not the random play of a 55 or 170 elo player. These were pretty well logical and well thought out plays. So I appreciate you sending in this game. Hopefully this kind of over-explained game helps you guys out on Elysium and kind of the thought process on how to play the map and how to evaluate some of these cards. If you guys like this style video, let me know, and I'll try and do it more. But until then, I'll see you guys next week. See you later.